Hello again. I'm going to tell you everything that I know, which isn't a whole bunch about this topic. And if some of you have more information on it than I do, you can feel free to share it because we could all stand to learn a little bit more. There is a product on the market called Maltodextrin, Maltodextrin. It is made from corn sometimes, or rice, or potatoes, or I think wheat was one of the things it was made out of. And it's treated, it's a starch. It starts out as a starch, and it's treated with either acid or enzymes, if I remember correctly. And what happens is it's a complex carbohydrate that sort of acts like sugar. And sometimes it can be, I guess, depending on the product, it differs. Sometimes it can be mildly sweet or have not much flavor at all. I read that they put it in the artificial sweetener Splenda as a filler. I had a little inkling that it might be in a product I had here, so I checked my Bear Creek cheddar broccoli soup. So think what it was, which soup it was. My Bear Creek cheddar broccoli soup. That's a tongue twister. And sure enough, it was in there. It's used as artificial sweetener. It's used as filler. But the thing that's interesting is that it's used in sports endurance drinks. So what you're getting, if I understand it correctly, is a slow, long release of energy from maltodextrin. In fact, it's the #1 ingredient in the 2 drinks that I checked out and researched. Now, what's that got to do with food storage? Well, it's got a couple of things to do with food storage. It's supposed to be better for your body to consume a complex carbohydrate. I think I waited till too late in the day to make this video. It's supposed to be better for your body to consume a complex carbohydrate versus a simple carb or simple sugars. And it helps you, I think it helps keep the glycogen in the muscles, and I'm not real savvy with all the terms here, so somebody correct me if you know more than I do, but I think what it does is it makes the glucose more available to the muscles for continual energy output. Now that could be important. That could be important, and it's a very inexpensive product if you buy it in bulk. It was 3 times more expensive. It's also used as not a bodybuilding product, but I'll have to go back and look it up. Maybe I'll put a note in later of exactly what the product was for, but it was kind of like a bodybuilding product. And there was nothing in the one brand that I looked at had nothing in it but maltodextrin. It was an 8-pound container like this. You know how big a bag of sugar is 4 or 5 pounds. It was an 8-pound plastic container, and they wanted $29.95 for it, which was triple what it cost if you buy it in bulk. And I don't know if they charge shipping or not, but the place I checked into to buy it in bulk didn't charge much in shipping at all. So what's that got to do with the price of milk, as I sometimes say? Well, it all depends. I think I'm going to try to get some in the not too distant future, and you can make your own sports drinks out of it if you want to. You can add it to foods. You can add it to, definitely could add it to soups because it's done commercially. It's, as I said, it's used as a filler, as an artificial sweetener. It can be mildly sweet or have no flavor at all. It's lower in calories than sweeteners are. It's considered natural from what I understand because it's only been treated with acids or enzymes. And it might be a really neat thing to have in your storage just for the very fact that it's a low slung release and allows you to use the calories in a more beneficial way, because if I understand it correctly, it's kind of like because it gives you long, slow, sustained release, you're able to keep going. Like, let's say you were chopping wood, or let's say you were picking berries, or you know, you needed to get a certain amount of work done, then it might be an advantage to have that. Now, I haven't, run any experiments yet other than just eating my cheddar broccoli soup. But I am going to guess that the form that it comes in, you could put it right into a number 10 can or a canning jar or a foil pouch and use an oxygen absorber with it, and then you could keep it for long-term storage. So until I actually get my hands on the stuff and get it here, and it's probably be several weeks before I get ready to do that. I got some other things coming up. And until I'm able to like run some little experiments with it, I'm not going to say too much more other than I would think that you could use it in baking. I would think you could use it in muffins, in cookies, not to replace the flour, but maybe in place of half the sugar, or I don't know. I'd really have to take some time to experiment it. But it seemed to me that it might be something that would be to an advantage. Those of you who are consuming sports drinks could make your own from the Maltodextrin, and I'm sure it would be handy to have in lots of different things. I don't have the slightest clue what it would do to the elasticity of the gluten in bread, or the capacity to have a proper effervescent type rise with baking soda type products. But Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'll get in my kitchen and run some experiments before the end of the summer. It won't be in the next 5-6 weeks, but maybe later in the summer. So that's 7 minutes worth of almost nothing, but it was very interesting to me. I guess I'm kind of interested in the science in food, the science of food, the information, and I have been very successful at guessing what ingredients are in different things. Sometimes I'll sit back and think, oh, I wonder if they put this or that in that product, and I'll go get the product off my shelf and check it out, and sure enough, there it is. And so I've gotten pretty good at that lately. Like I say, I'm not used to being wrong. Not very often. Not used to being wrong very often. So it may be something that you want to look into. You can buy it in smaller quantities. You just need to find some product that it's marketed in. I'm trying to remember what the name of the product was. I'll see if I can find that. Anyways, it was a bodybuilding type product, so it's not coming to mind right now. I'll try to look it up and put that below. So I'm sorry I'm a little tongue-tied. Tonight I have my mind about 5 different places. We have some celebrating going on this weekend, and so I've got my mind on other things. So God bless your efforts to prepare. Make a list and check it twice so you can eat more than just beans and just rice. And I really, the reason I say that at the end of every video pretty much anymore is because I really, believe in lists. And if you can't do everything, which most of us cannot, it helps you to see where you've been and see where you're going. I did at one time have a list of everything I had in storage, quantity-wise. That's not possible for me to do at the time being. I can't get to it. My stuff is there. I just can't get to it. I can't get me to where my stuff is, and I can't inventory it like I had hoped to. But it's okay because it's there, and I figure, push comes to shove, I could get an inventory at some point in time. But you can't inventory food that's not there. So if you have a choice between doing an inventory and putting your focus into making sure you get the food and keep your hands on it, just get the food and keep your hands on it. You can worry about the inventory later. I know I'm being a little bit slapstick here today, but I had a friend the other day, was chatting with her, and she said something to the effect that something about my personality. She was paying me a compliment, and she said something to the effect that I don't want to see other people suffer. And I said, oh, you got that one right. Said there's enough suffering going on as it is, and more to come, I'm sure. And if we can help each other to, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, we can help each other to get ourselves in a position to eliminate or reduce future suffering. I'm all over that one. I do not like to suffer. Do not like to suffer. So take care of yourself. Make a list. Set some goals. Don't make them too lofty. I would say I've said a lot of things about what I think are the most important steps are to take, but I would say that garden seeds are right up there at the top of my list, because there's so many ways that you can plant them, and because they will grow more food, which turns into more seeds, which turns into more food, which turns into more seeds, and not everything can boast that quality characteristic. And also, I really think it's, if you're going to start out with one item, in my book, it would have to be 50 to 100 pounds of flour. With 100 pounds of flour, you can make approximately 100 loaves of bread. Go to the Great Depression video 5 for instructions on no-fail French bread. Everybody loves it. Nobody screws it up. You can't make it fail, hardly, if you even sort of try. Good stuff. It only has 4 ingredients or 5. Salt, sugar, yeast, water, flour, 5 ingredients. No kneading. Excuse me. So that would give you 100 pounds of flour would give you 100 loaves of bread, approximately. So that's where I would start if I had to choose some garden seeds and some flour, and then go from there. I'm going to quit. Now we're over 12 minutes, and I very seldom do that. Bye for now.